Hello and welcome. I am so glad you have chosen to be here today, in this quiet space we have created together. We are about to embark on a journey, a shared listening experience through one of the most ancient and foundational texts in human history. We will be exploring the book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible. Instead, think of this as a time for quiet reflection, a peaceful reading designed to calm the mind and open the heart. We will move through these profound stories with a gentle and steady pace, allowing the words to unfold naturally. In our fast-paced world, this reading is an invitation to step away from all of that, just for a little while. It is an opportunity to breathe, to settle in, and to receive these stories in a spirit of peace and contemplation. I encourage you to find a comfortable position, to close your eyes if you wish, and to simply let the narrative wash over you. Together, we will walk through the dawn of creation and the lives of the first families, finding solace and meaning in their journey, and, perhaps, in our own as well. In the very beginning there was nothing, only a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. "Let there be light," God said, and suddenly there was light. He then separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And so the evening passed, and the morning came. This was the first day. On the second day, God made an expanse, a great vault across the sky, and called this great expanse heaven. On the third day, God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." God called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit." And it was so. On the fourth day, he made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. On the fifth day, God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life." And God said, "Let birds fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." On the sixth day, God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth." Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them. He looked at everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. And so, on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. He rested on the seventh day from all his work. The Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed, a man named Adam. In the midst of the garden were two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave the man a single command. He said, "Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." The serpent approached the woman, Eve. He questioned the one rule God had given them. The woman saw the tree was good for food and pleasant to the eyes. She took of its fruit and ate. She also gave some to her husband, and he ate. In that moment, everything changed. The eyes of them both were opened. They knew they were naked. That evening, they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden. They were afraid, so they hid themselves from his presence among the trees, to prevent them from also eating from the tree of life. God sent them out of the Garden of Eden. Outside the garden, Adam and Eve began a new life, a life of toil, working the ground from which he was taken. Eve gave birth to a son, Cain. Then she gave birth to another son, Abel. The Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. Cain became very angry, and his face fell. Anger grew in his heart like a poisonous weed. And when they were in the field together, Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. As generations passed, the wickedness of man was great, and the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth. But amidst all the corruption, one man found grace in the eyes of the Lord. His name was Noah. God told him of his plan to bring a flood, and gave Noah specific instructions to build a great ark. He was also to bring 2 of every sort of living thing, to keep them alive with him. When all was ready, for 40 days and 40 nights, rain fell upon the earth. The waters rose higher and higher, covering the mountains and destroying every living thing. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. Then God remembered Noah, and the waters began to recede. The dove returned with a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. Finally, God spoke to Noah, "Go out of the ark, you and your family with you." As a sign of this new covenant, God set his rainbow in the cloud, a reminder of mercy and hope after judgment had passed. After the scattering at Babel, the story narrows to one man, Abram. The Lord came to him with a command: "Get out of your country, to a land that I will show you." God promised to make him a great nation. He brought Abram outside and said, "Look now toward heaven and count the stars. So shall your descendants be." So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him. He was 75 years old when he left his home. When Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord visited him again and promised, "Sarah, your wife, shall have a son." When she heard this, she laughed to herself. She was old, well past childbearing. But just as the Lord had promised, Sarah bore a son to Abraham in his old age. Abraham named the boy Isaac, which means he laughs. After all these things, God tested Abraham, saying, "Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and offer him there as a burnt offering." But the angel of the Lord called to him, "Do not lay your hand on the lad, for now I know that you fear God." Abraham looked, and there was a ram caught in a thicket. Years later, Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac. At a well, the servant found Rebekah, whose kindness marked her as the one chosen by God. Isaac's son Jacob, through deception, stole the blessing from his brother Esau, setting in motion a long and painful journey of conflict. As he fled, Jacob dreamed of a ladder reaching to heaven. There, God renewed his covenant, promising to be with him and bring him home safely. Returning to his homeland, Jacob wrestled with God until the breaking of the day. He would not let go until he was blessed. His name was changed from Jacob to Israel, for he had struggled with God and with men, and had prevailed. Jacob loved his son Joseph more than all his other children, and he made him a beautiful tunic, a coat of many colors. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more, they hated him and could not speak a peaceful word to him. Their simmering hatred boiled over. They saw their opportunity and conspired against him. They stripped him of his coat and cast him into a pit. Then, seeing a caravan of traders, they sold him for 20 shekels of silver. The traders took Joseph down to Egypt and sold him as a slave. But the Lord was with Joseph. Even after being unjustly thrown into prison, his wisdom shone through. 2 years later, Joseph was brought before Pharaoh to interpret his dreams, foretelling 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of severe famine. Impressed by his wisdom, Pharaoh appointed Joseph to be second in command over all of Egypt. When the famine was severe, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt to buy grain. They bowed down before him with their faces to the earth, fulfilling the dreams of his youth.
After testing their hearts, Joseph revealed himself, saying, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?"
He told them not to be grieved or angry with themselves. "You meant evil against me," he said, "but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive." And so Israel and his entire family were brought to Egypt, where they were reunited and saved from the famine, bringing the book of Genesis to a close. Our reading is now complete, but the journey with these stories is far from over. I invite you now not to rush away, but to simply sit for a moment. Let the echoes of these ancient narratives resonate within you. Creation, fall, judgment, and through it all, the unwavering theme of promise. So take this time, this stillness, as a gift. Breathe deeply. Let go of the need to analyze or understand everything at once. May the God who brought light from darkness and order from chaos bring a gentle order to your own life. May you have the courage to step out in faith, even when the destination is unclear, trusting that you are being led toward a place of blessing. And may the story of Joseph be a constant reminder that God can work through all things for good, that even the deepest pits of suffering can become the unlikely path to a place of purpose and redemption. Go in peace, carry these stories in your heart, and may you find rest, hope, and light on your journey ahead. Thank you for listening.